Hi guys, and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, Head Currency Analyst. In this video we're going to go through the Forex market outlook. We're going to identify those strong and weak currencies and see if there's any opportunities for us for the week ahead. So the strongest currency of last week was the Canadian dollar. We have seen the Canadian dollar change trend on multiple currency pairs, and it's looking pretty decent for some potential continuation of that. Obviously, we need to be a little bit careful because when a currency has been so strong, it can snap back quite quickly. But it's just interesting to see that the Canadian dollar has strengthened so much. We've got euro in decline, we've got pound in decline, we've got the Australian dollar and Kiwi dollar in decline. Dollar remains at this point of where it hasn't really changed cycle on the major currency pairs. The only one that kind of continued down was dollar CAD, forming a new low on the week. So dollar continues to be bearish. We just need to still continue to watch this, as we could still start to see that reversal and see some strength coming back in. But obviously we'll only start buying into that if that does happen. We've been talking about it for a few weeks now, so really need to see this starting to form really in order to be a confident buyer of the dollar. At the moment, still very much down at the -7 area. Yen is also continuing to weaken just through here. You can see that. So one of the charts that I quite like is CAD Yen. So that's going to be kind of a pick of the week that I'm going to look at, and maybe look at the sort of the weakest currency of the week onto the strongest, which is AUDCAD, which you can see in the background just here. So let's just go through some currency pairs of interest. I'm going to start off with Euro US dollar. We can see that the market has continued to sort of remain in a consolidation pattern. We had this really nice maybe sort of head and shoulders pattern forming where we could expect some downside. Now I did like the idea of shorting this currency pair on Tuesday, just through here, which if you did on a lower time frame, you would have been nicely successful on there. But as soon as I started to see these sort of candlesticks, you don't want to be trading that to the downside. What I really wanted to see was a break of this low through here and see those lower lows and lower highs being formed, maybe a pullback into that sort of recent breakout area. But we haven't seen that. Dollar's remained bearish and we're just in this consolidation. So what I want to see is a breakout of that. Are we going to break out to the upside and see that dollar weakness continue, or are we going to break out to the downside? What I'm going to do is just sit on my hands and wait for either situation to form, because I'm a trend-based trader. Don't really want to be trading consolidations and ranges. I want to wait for that breakout first. Very similar to the pound, although pound is looking kind of bearish just because of these sort of wicks that we're seeing to the upside, and we can see maybe a sort of head and shoulders play coming out here, break of these lows. But again, I'm going to be really just sitting on my hands with the major currency pairs. I don't want to start just buying into the dollar at the top just because of the seasonal reports. I want to see the technicals line up with it, and in order to do that I need to see a new lower low being formed to really start getting on the back of that dollar strength. So again, just watch that consolidation area. Same with Aussie, very much watch that consolidation area. Kiwi we know is bearish, which is the only one I'd really short the dollar against, so continue to look for that bearishness there. Dollar yen is the only one really that is also showing us a little bit of potential in terms of looking for the trend, because as I said in the week, we're at this huge level. We've now made a new high on the daily. Is price just going to come back, retest this area of support and continue to the upside? The yen obviously very weak as well, which is why I'm featuring it on the chart of the week with the Canadian dollar. But that looks very, very good. It looks even similar to CAD yen with the fact that we've got these key swing highs just in here. The market has recently sort of consolidated, but then we have this nice little higher high pattern being formed. So I would like to see price come and retest this sort of breakout structure zone, or at least come down and test these previous breakout highs. If it does that, then I'll be really happy and looking for long positions in there. So if we go to a 4-hour chart, for instance, and just zoom out a little bit, I'd be really happy just to see price dip back into this supporting zone, maybe create that sort of double bottom pattern or something, or inverse head and shoulders at this area of previous resistance, and then look to buy and capitalize on that potential strength and weakness play. So I do quite like CAD yen in that sense. Aussie CAD as well, potentially, just because if I take a look at the weekly and just zoom out slightly, you'll see that there's a bit of a zone just through here on Aussie CAD where the market's kind of struggled at recently. We can see there's been a lot of bullishness out of this market for some time now. We're at an oversold condition once again, or overbought I should say condition. The last couple of times we had that, we did have one just here, but it didn't really follow through, and then a couple of times it did was just around sort of these areas here where we did get a little bit more of a follow through there. So what I do like the factors that we can see on the strength and weakness that Aussie CAD has started to lose some ground, CAD's gaining. So if we look at the daily, we can clearly see that the market has formed a new lower low. So if we looked at it, maybe a head and shoulders pattern has completed, bit of a neckline area running through here. So what I'd want to see is if price did start to maybe continue higher here, do we get a nice bearish day? Once we get that bearish day, can we capitalize on a potential move to the downside? Because right now I don't want to be a seller because of, you know, that really nice bullish candlestick. It's not in our favor. I want to see price match our bias where we have a nice daily bearish close, and then we continue to trade that to the downside. Okay, so I'm waiting for that here on Aussie CAD as well. So CAD yen, I'm waiting for almost like a bullish candlestick on the daily. Aussie CAD waiting for a bearish candlestick on the daily to then look to potentially trade that CAD strength. So that's what I'm going to be watching for the week ahead. Hope you enjoyed this video update, and have a great trading week. Cheers.